All right, Browns fans, we're starting tonight with a direct quote. When my agent called me to tell me the news, he said, and I quote, "I've never actually had a front office tell me anything like this, but they said that part of the reason they never entertained cutting you is because of how much you mean to this city." Anthony Maglin here with another quick game show on the Cleveland Browns on SI YouTube channel. And yesterday we talked about Nick Chubb and how his return is going to impact the Cleveland Browns from a football perspective. Well, today, Nick Chubb himself dropped one of the coolest uh, articles in the Player Tribune that you'll ever read as a Cleveland Browns fan. It was all things exciting, all things motivating, all things emotional. I was tearing up reading it because you just saw he took you through a segment of time in his life where there was a lot in question. He goes into detail about how he was laying on that field in Pittsburgh and saw some of his guys start to pray over him. And then he goes, "Wow, there's some Steelers praying over me. This must be pretty bad." And then as he was being carted off, he in his mind was like, "I just played my last snap of football ever." He believed it, but now as we stand tonight, we're 3 days away from seeing him take the field again as a Cleveland Brown, and we couldn't be more excited. But if you haven't read his article, I encourage you to go read the full thing. You can see it over on our website, si.com/NFL/Browns, as we have a couple stories over there covering some of the details of it. But certainly there's a link to that over on our site, so go check it out. But I mean, there was so much in there that was really, really cool to hear number 24 say. And more importantly, it was cool to see him show a little bit of emotion in this. Like, he's a very stoic guy. We've always seen that he doesn't celebrate often. Even when he scores, he always gives credit back to his team. But it was cool to hear him, or I guess read his story of him talking through his childhood, talking through his why, and why his mom, although his last name is Chubb, and there's a town in Georgia called Chubbtown that his dad and his ancestors helped create and find. But he talked about how his mom was his greatest influence and how his grandmother shaped him to be the man that he is today. And it's just a really, really cool piece that I certainly encourage you to read. But the biggest thing that he says is that he loves Cleveland because Cleveland loves him. So many different references to that, but the last one that I'll leave you with here before we get out of here is his final quote. "Y'all had my back, and now there's only one thing left to do. I got to pay you back. Let's work." And that's signed by running back number 24, Nick Chubb. The bat signal is out. It is going to be absolutely incredible if you're able to get down to Huntington Bank Field on Sunday afternoon, where the Browns take on the Bengals in a game that means a lot for both teams. It's a loser leaves town football game. If the Browns lose, their season is already done. If it already isn't. But if the Bengals come up short, their season they're certainly going to be on the outside looking in in terms of playoffs. But none of that really means much to the Cleveland Browns fans. What does mean a lot is going to be watching number 24 take the field in his back where he belongs, back behind center, and getting the handoff, running the rock for the Cleveland Browns. So for more content just like this, subscribe to our channel, Cleveland Browns on SI. We got you covered with a bunch of quick videos just like this one. Also on game day, do some stuff pregame and postgame. Got you covered from press conferences and all things in between. Also got you covered on our site. I dropped it once, but I'll drop it again, si.com/NFL/Browns. But for tonight, we're talking Nick Chubb as we get set for a huge matchup on Sunday down at Huntington Bank Field. And number 24 will be back in the orange and brown.